of Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Welcome, everybody, to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific for about an hour or 90 minutes each day. We run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the comments from the live people that are watching us live. I'm missing it. I got it all mixed up here today. So I got a splitting pain in my wrist, and it just started coming back. So sorry, I'm ultra distracted. Where was I at? We broadcast the show on on YouTube. We simulcast it over at Gun Channels. We're watching the comments from the viewers. That's a big part of the show. Every once in a while, we'll take the audio and we'll post it over on iTunes. And we encourage anybody that's listening to the show on any of those platforms to give us feedback. Let us know where you're at, where you're listening from. Lets us know what platforms are getting the most interest, where to put our resources, and then hopefully it gets the show recommended to more listeners. That's always the goal. So we do appreciate people that help us with that. We have, I don't know how many hosts we have today. It's a good question. It's like, what's his name's cat, right? If
Schrodinger's cat.
Depends on how you observe the chat today. So we have a number of hosts from our left, from my left to my right. We got Bob jumping in from Canada. Thanks for joining.
Hey, glad to be here.
We got Jimmy James jumping in from Phoenix.
Hey there, thanks for the invite.
You bet, thanks for jumping in. We got Dano, and it's Dano's Last Show. That's what I was going to say, Smeggy. We named the show Dano's Last Show, so that was an answer to your one thing. So Dano's jumping in on his last show from Illinois. Thanks for joining.
No problem. I can't be late to my own funeral, so here I am.
And then we got Smeggy jumping in from Michigan. Thanks for jumping in. You're having
yeah, busy life. How's everyone doing today?
Like I say, I'm freaking don't normally have pain, but this is driving me nuts. I was doing just fine until like literally I started wiggling this mouse. Maybe I got carpal tunnel and it's activated or something. Anyway,
I just like a muscle cramp?
No. I fell down this morning, and I think I might have twisted my wrist. And then I've been sitting in, thanks to Jimmy, I've been sitting in with a sling and ice, like from Phoenix down to here. So it's been fine. And then I just started playing with the mouse here to do the show. You know, there's like 3 things I have to wiggle to make the show start. And it just sent a shot of pain down my arm like I don't think I've ever had before. So anyway, it's going away now. I tied the shit out of it with a bandana. So we will move along. Did I introduce everybody? And we may have a special guest joining us as well. I'm also in Arizona. Dano's Last Show is episode 389. We're going to be talking about CCW today, which is appropriate because that's Dano's topic du jour. Or wait, what's it called when you like a topic in French? That's what it is for Dano in French. And
so does that mean all 3 segments are going to be online training? Is that correct?
I wouldn't be surprised.
CCW topic, this will be the first one, importance of physical training. Then we'll do the gun stuff is the, I don't know what I said. What does it say? Gimmick known as full concealed pistols. So I don't know if we just copied and pasted that or if we've got an interest in full concealed pistols. And then maybe I think I did copy and paste that because it's all out of, you know, it's not punctuated. So maybe I just copied that out of something just as a topic.
I think I know what that's referring to, although I didn't necessarily put it in there.
I think
is that pistol that folds in half or whatever?
Yeah, that's that Glock that folds up, I think. And then
okay.
We'll assume, since I think that's what we're all thinking. And then our third topic is training with a drop leg holster. Then we do our daily stuff, gun shop of the day, gun movie, and all that stuff. So before we start the show, we usually fart around at the beginning, so please do give me a minute.
Yep, I'll go ahead and start off. This is my last show of the Daily Gun Show as an official full-time host, and I want to take this opportunity to thank G-Webs, Smeggy, Z Island, if you're out there listening, And of course, Bob, you guys have been around the entire just under a year that I've been here, and thank you for the opportunity that you guys have collectively given me, and support and things and so forth. I've enjoyed a lot of it. We've gone through some challenges and some tough times, and I do appreciate the time that we spent together. So thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you, Dano.
Been a blast.
We'll just talk over each other.
It's not like you're going to die and go away and we'll never see you again. I'm sure you'll still be on gun channels and getting around out there in the webs.
Exactly.
Showing us all the time.
Still on gun channels, still do the various things I participate in over there. None of that's going to change.
Right on. I was going to say we could address some of the questions that are coming in. I'm sure people have heard of it, but like we said, we named the show that too. So just in case people aren't. How you doing, Bob? And then, so we got a couple questions coming in. Is it true that DanOs going to CNN, or is that
fake news?
Okay. Yes, we know CNN is fake news, but are you taking a job there?
No.
Are you going on a secret mission?
If you pay me enough.
If it does anything, it wouldn't be a secret.
Speaking of pay, we run this show a little differently than other shows. So do you want like just one invoice, or would you like them spread out so you can make payments over time? Unlike some shows where you get some kind of a fat check at the end, we give you your bill.
Yeah. Just the direction of money is a little different.
You can use PayPal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I could.
I also see a suggestion that perhaps Dano and Jaeger.
Considering he has no idea who I am, I don't foresee that.
Oh, I'll bet you that's what the secret mission probably is. They're going over to go after Kim Jong.
If he wants to go with this story, let's let him, right? So, yeah, I'm not seeing that much on the YouTube side. So, I guess we'll keep going. Oh, anything else happened? That's what I was going to say. Anything else happened overnight? All kinds of stuff happened overnight. I was just up in Phoenix hanging out with Jimmy. And we went to a couple of gun shops. And, Brandon from Gun Channels has that Saber Knights Academy. We went up and checked that out. And then on the way back, I went to a couple of places too. So I've had a pretty fun couple of days here. And van ran great. So good news there. So Jimmy went to Scottsdale Gun Club for the first time today. And I was thinking we might do that as our gun shop of the day, unless there's something more appropriate for Dano. Maybe Dano should do a Gander Mountain.
And the store number is.
I'm writing this Maggie here for Scottsdale. How about that? All right. I guess
of the state, where are you in regards to what were you going to do? Just hammer it to a board, or
do I know?
That snakeskin. You said you were going to do something with it.
I mean, unless I'm mistaken, there's not much else you do. You hammer it to a board upside down, you scrape its meat off, and you let it set there, right?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know.
Pretty sure that's all you do.
You know what you could do is you could dry out the head and use it as a gear shift knob. You just have to be real careful.
No, it was smushed in the head. Its head was all gross. So when I chopped the skin off, though, I went the side of the belly instead. I don't like going straight through the belly. I really like the belly, right? The belly scales or whatever. So I went, imagine if he had a zipper on one side of his belly. So like that's where I made my cut the long way. I got down to his black and white stripes and I went around in a circle and reversed and pulled it out, and I kept the rattles and pulled all the meat out, right? And then poked the rattles back out, and now I got the whole snake. Now his head was smashed. Sorry, this is getting gross for people that don't like talking about dead snakes. And then I just yanked the head off, and it came out like a perfect glove. I have his lower jaw and his upper head. No skull, but I have all the skin off the face. It's really cool. It's the best skin I've ever done, if I do say so myself.
Oh, cool.
Did it with a
Can't
razor
wait.
this time because I didn't bring a. I always do it with a fillet knife because I think it's a fish, right? And this time I did it with a razor blade, just a plain old razor blade that I had in the car for cut or in the van for cutting those rubber mats that I used, and that worked a million times better than the knives I've always used. So I might start using razor blades in the future.
So once you skinned it, did you like expose the under, typically, you know, still wet, damp side to the sun for a couple of days to let it dehydrate?
No, I was driving around, so I wadded it up and then it's in the freezer. So I'll deal with it when I go time to deal with it. But it'll be fine for like a couple of years, probably in the freezer.
Yep.
Don't let it get freezer burn.
I don't think that'll hurt the scales. Actually, I'm wondering, I was kind of thinking about that because where the tires hit it, right? It was weird. I don't know if you ever pulled something apart like that, but you can imagine a snake is not hard to take apart. You just pull the skin and it comes off, right? Where normally, because you don't normally skin a snake that's been smashed, right? This one got smashed. So where it got to where the tires hit it, that meat was not coming off the skin. So it's like some big animal. You know, normally snake skin is nothing. It just comes right off and there's no meat on it except for down by the tail, by the head maybe. So I do got to scrape it or something. But anyway, it's in the freezer. Now we're probably getting gross for people. It's your last show. We're getting gross.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about anything else that happened overnight? Or should we dig in?
So I have absolutely no idea what's happened the entire past week, so I have nothing to add to the conversation.
Well, I'll just reiterate, we've got 3 new gun shops, a couple of restaurants for other projects we're doing, and I stopped by Pima Pistol Club because the way I came in Tucson is through the north side. Pima Pistol Club's more than an hour from me, especially with traffic, so I don't get up there that often anymore. And that's where those dudes, Carl and Ian, right, Forgotten Weapons and In Range, that's where they do their 2 gun matches. And I don't know if they film their videos there or not, but so people might be familiar with that range, but I hadn't been up there in a while and it has changed a lot. So I think it'd be neat. I'm going to take the dash cam footage. It's a big enough range that you can just drive around. I'm pretty sure I got good dash cam footage of it all. And then I probably have similar footage from years ago. And I think it'd be neat to do like a split screen top and bottom to let people see the development of this particular range. And anyway, so I got that done. And then across the street from it, there's a church built on top of Titan II missile silos. So I went over and checked that out, got it all on foot video. So I can show people that. It's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of interesting. Church on top of it, though.
Yep. All right, so we'll keep moving then, I guess. CCW topic is our first topic today, the importance of physical training. Well, I know that if I was stronger, I wouldn't have broken my wrist this morning. Well, I could probably move to my left hand. What the hell? Like a monkey. I can't. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, some of us are just blessed, so we don't have to do it like other people. But you know, others, you know, they should work out, and keep in shape.
I don't ever get in good shape, but I can tell you when you're in shape, you shoot better. I mean, you're stronger and you just shoot better.
The other thing is that at least when I go to training, and typical training is not necessarily cheap, is you can get a whole lot more out of training if you are able to fully participate in it because you are in better physical condition, which is why you know, I do the treadmill, and you know, I'm not out there doing all sorts of, you know, dead weights and stuff like that, but I'm out there trying to increase my physical capability so I can get as much out of a training session as I am capable of getting. And so I think, you know, that's one reason. The other reason is just simply outside of training. What are you training for? If that 1 out of a million thing does happen, you're going to be far more capable of defending your life for the life of another, being in good physical condition, than if you're not. I mean,
right, because there's all sorts of stuff, you know, as far as even like gun retention and different stuff. I mean, a lot of times some type of, you know, attack or whatever is going to start like hands on and then maybe, you know, turn lethal or whatever. So if you can defend yourself just in any way, you know, it might keep you from even ever getting to that step, because if I was a bad guy looking for a target Am I gonna go pick the dude who looks like a big, strong, tough guy, or am I gonna pick, somebody else? So that's where the physical training sometimes can just avoid the situation altogether.
See, unlike Smeggy, I care about other people, so that's why I don't mind being a weakling, because that way the bad guys pick on me and not the other people.
And it can be as simple as if you're quicker, you can get away faster, thus avoid the whole confrontation altogether. It's not always about being offensive. Many times it's about defense.
When we first started the subject, I was actually thinking the same thing, that the more physically fit you get, you probably have more options, right? Of just in every way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can run.
Right. Well, and even if you're getting to cover or something, maybe you can jump over something and get some cover. Whereas if you're not as physically fit, it's like there's no way I'm jumping over that thing. Maybe roll over a counter in a store or something. But yeah, if you can run faster, jump higher, all that kind of stuff, you can get some advantages.
If you can avoid confrontation, that's a win every single time. And that's why I think the ability to run and then run as quick as you're able is always the best option if possible. And then if not, then there's other options, which also involve being physically fit.
I don't know about always the best option, but I have a question. You recently did some training that you knew was going to be physically intensive, right? So you started to do physical, training, I guess, PT?
Yes.
You get ready for it. So this is fresh in your mind, and obviously, what I'm assuming, since it seems like you stuck with the PT, it sounds like I'm assuming that you got in shape, right? So since it's so fresh, you could probably recall months before your PT what you would have been like at the training. Do you think there was a difference? I mean, was it worth the time and effort spent preliminary?
Oh, absolutely. There are two things that I accomplished. One is I reduced the likelihood of an injury by being more physically fit, and the other was that I was able to mentally absorb a lot more of the training because I was not as exhausted or tired as I would have been if I had not been in the shape that I was. I mean, because if you're exhausted and panting for air, you're not paying attention to what's being said. You may be looking, but you're not really absorbing it.
And you might be at the line going through the motions, but you're not in command of what you're doing to really be doing the drill, learning from the drill, experiencing the failures or whatever on the gun, and not, oh, my knee's killing me, or my freaking back, when are we going to sit down, or I need a cigarette, because that's a big one.
Yeah, and so I've kept going on the physical side. In fact, I have a class I'm going to be taking here in a few weeks, and it's all about, number one for me, I am older, I'm 56 years old, so number one is injury prevention, because it takes me longer to heal than it does somebody who's 20 years old. And the other is, these things are not cheap, to try to get the most out of them as possible.
I pretty much agree with what everybody said. I mean, aside from cardio, I think that's real important too. Not being able to last longer, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I pretty much agree.
That's a good point. I'm thinking Jimmy's been helping me with putting some of the websites back together, and one of them I really am looking forward to getting. Well, actually, I never even had one before, so I'm looking forward to being able to put one together for the healthy tips. When we started the show originally, I bet you people are listening to the show today some people listening today never even heard a healthy tip on here. So we had healthy tips back in the beginning, and I forget who it was that was so anti-healthy tip. I think it was Clay. He was like anti-health. So I got no feedback except for negative feedback, and it was all from one person basically. But I basically quit doing it because I wasn't getting any feedback. But I did start the show with the intent of doing that because I had let myself go for a bit, and I've never been super fit, but you get out of the army or whatever, and you're okay, you're fairly fit, I guess, and then you do your thing. What happened to me was I got older and fatter, right? And then after a while, I guess I just got used to being fat. So if I got fatter and I got some ache and pain, I didn't attribute it to being fat. I attributed it to being old. And that's what was happening to me, I think. And had actually was thinking about that today. It's probably what's on my mind. At that Pima Pistol Club is where I was doing an IDPA match, a state match. So it was a big fancy match. You do all the stages in one day. And I'm trying to trudge through it, and I'm carrying all my crap around. And it must have been at the hot part of the year, and I just, got exhausted. I think I've described it before on the show earlier, and that got me to thinking, okay, I could either die or get in, get in better shape. And I'm lazy, so I went with diet as opposed to exercise. And as I started looking into all that, where the hell was I going? We were talking about the Pima Pistol Club. Yeah,
Being healthy can also.
Oh, I was going to do the healthy tips again. Thanks. So anyway, I think I'm going to start putting the healthy tips in there because that's one of the reasons I started the show with the whatever segments that we started doing these things. So now that DanOs is going to not be against them, we're going to start doing the healthy tips again.
I don't remember that exactly being way down, but
it might have gone down differently. I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Well, Dano was talking about cake earlier, so he's not exactly the definition of health.
Well, let's keep in mind, cake is mostly flour, which is a vegetable, and then chocolate, which is not bad for anybody. So it's pretty good for you.
And there's eggs in there, and wheat. That's nutrition.
Oh, but that's got gluten.
Chocolate cake for breakfast.
So any other thoughts on importance of physical training for today? If not,
I think it's important.
Time. It's time. It's time for the Tactical Pop Quiz. And today we're going to do it differently, being my last show. We're going to actually have two, yes, count them, two Tactical Pop Quizzes. One is going to be right now for YouTube only. And then later in the show, we're going to have a second, yes, can you believe it, a second Tactical Pop Quiz for gun channels only. So right now, if you happen to be on YouTube, put your cursor down on the box, limber up your fingers. We're only going to be looking at YouTube. So this is your chance on YouTube to be a winner. So here we go. Smeg and
I have seen the answer. Yep, I'm ready to go.
Okay, and you're looking at the one for YouTube, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just want to verify that. All right, I will read the question twice, and it is as follows. In what century were guns introduced to Europe? In what century were guns introduced to Europe?
Well, whenever America invented them, right?
Europe, guns, Europe.
Well, I'm thinking
Follow-up
somewhere
question,
from the
in
China
what
area.
century
Yo,
Will all the guns be banned in Europe?
Okay, YouTube.
I think it was 1997 that they were banned in Europe.
Oh,
There we go.
I think, Chris, is that what you got?
Yep.
All right, Chris Dell, congratulations. It was the 13th century. So congratulations, Mr. Chris Dell. You are today's Tactical Pop Quiz winner. And since we are our long-awaited guest host or host, Smeggy, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, well, yeah. Good for you, Chris, by getting the correct answer of lucky number 13. That makes you the tactical hot shot of YouTube of the day.
Yes, congratulations, Chris. And we will be back later in the show with Tactical Pop Quiz Dose for gun channels.
We're thinking about once DanOs gone, we're going to start doing that on the regular, except we're going to rig the one on YouTube so they never win.
Yeah. Because there are only so many centuries to choose from.
All right, so that means we can go on to segment number dose, which is gun stuff. We're going to be talking about the gimmick known as full concealed pistols. But before we go to the second topic of the day, we'd like to take a minute between the first and second topic of the day to feature one of the members over on Gun Channels. Gun Channels is a place we built a while back. It's a community focused on firearms, completely membership driven, and that's why we take a moment here to feature one of the members over there. And you might think we're doing DanO, but we're not. We're going to, this week, we're looking at some of the people who we support over on the Patreon. So not people that support us, we appreciate all those people, but the people that we support, channels that we found, some of them thanks to Bob actually, that are so good that we're giving them money. Your money, they're giving us money and we're giving it to them. So hopefully that's cool with y'all. And if that's neat, then you're giving us $1 and we're throwing a couple of nickels out to other people. And let's take a look at some of them people. So I'm clicking on that link and you should be able to screen share there. Now this is actually the gun websites one because it's too, well, I don't have the money to put it out under the Daily Gun Show one. So it's under the gun websites one, but who cares? So I'm gonna, does anybody, oh, you know what? We did Bob's one yesterday. So Jimmy, no, DanO, why don't you pick one out of this list? Do any of these look familiar or that you like or that you'd want us to talk about today? If you can see my screen.
Yeah, I was actually just trying to scroll your screen and couldn't figure out why my mouse wasn't working.
I'll go a little slower for you then. So I've subscribed to quite a few of them. I love the idea of Patreon. It's working pretty good for a lot of people. And I like that it's from the ground up. So you decide where your money's going. You don't give your money to somebody and then they decide who they want to support. Anyhow, so we're playing with the system a little bit. And like I said, we're going to start promoting some of these channels. Anything strike a bell?
Well, there's a number of them so far. I just was looking for you to kind of go through the. Okay, so
I guess I could have also gave you the link so that you don't have to depend on my screen there.
So the Nut and Fancy project is there, huh?
Yeah, Nut and Fancy basically just joined, and I don't care what anybody wants to say. I'll throw down with you. If you're going to talk shit about Nut and Fancy, then get ready to explain how any of this shit would be possible. He was the granddaddy of all of this stuff, and I'll debate anybody who says different. You may or may not like his quality, type of style or whatever, or his content even, but yeah, he's still doing it, and he's still doing it authentically to what he started with. And again, you may have problems with that, but I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I give him $1. I don't care. I give $1 to everybody. I don't have money. You guys are giving me the money, but I want to redistribute it. I want them to be on our screen here so that people can find out about him. This guy makes cartoons about Second Amendment stuff. I'm getting into that. Everybody knows Yankee. Jimmy James is sitting right here. Night Strike, you know, kicking ass, helping out on gun channels all the time, doing shows. AK-47 Guru. I'll just stop whenever DanO actually picks one.
Yeah, actually, there's a number of them that ring a bell with me that I really like. So do I have to basically make it just one?
No, let's just feature some of them today then.
Okay. Well, C and Arsenal is an example. Is one I think they do such a great job not only in doing the research that it takes to do it, but then also finding existing examples of that technology that in many cases has been destroyed or lost to history. And I think they do a great job, as well as Indy Nidell, who does the one on World War I and does once a week does a show on what happened in World War I, however many years ago this week.
Oh, great.
The Great War.
We talked about that one yesterday. Did we talk about
really good choices, DanO?
We talked about the Great War yesterday. Did we talk about the fact that they make $17,000 a month talking about something that they're passionate about? 4,000 people in the world. That's a country of 350 million people, right? And then a world with a hell of a lot more. 4,000 of them came along, and this guy's making 20 grand to talk about guns. He's one of the top 50 people on Patreon, along with some other gun places. So get off your asses and go talk about what you like. See an Arsenal. He's a regular dude posting on, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, posting on Reddit. People dig his stuff, like DanO said. He's putting out awesome info. It develops. They start paying him. He's also one of the people that tells you how much he's making. That's bringing in $6 grand. You know, it's not going in his pocket like Bob just said. It goes right back into the channel. They literally employ people to do their animations and stuff. Look at this. This stuff exists because 2,000 people said, let's make that exist. There's a guy getting paid to do this. Awesome. Our kids are going to be able to look at this. Your grandkids are going to be able to look at this. That's not looking at some stupid old-fashioned book. That's not watching some, even the modern marbles. I can remember sitting there watching modern marbles with my grandpa. This is the kind of thing where you could say, hey, can you do my grandpa's gun next? And they will.
Right.
You're doing one a day. So come on,
Yeah.
This is incredible. This is new internet right here, people. So thanks, Dano. Those are two great examples.
Yes.
All right. I think I just linked to them. Shit, I hope I didn't close the windows. I'll link to them again. So that was our gun channels today, kind of. But now we're going to get into gun stuff. Gimmick known as full concealed. So we're going to all assume, right, that we're talking about that Glock that kind of folds in half.
See, I thought it was that holster that goes down in your pants.
No, that's
and just urban carry.
Urban carry something.
Yeah, deep
I'm sorry,
carry.
That's the urban carry holster.
Okay.
Cross-state carry that Yankee talked about.
Didn't they do a SIG 322 that way, like Dremel it and go make it look dumb? Or was it just I thought
I only saw maybe a Facebook or Instagram because I don't sit around watching YouTube too often unless somebody posts it on gun channels and I watch it because everybody's saying to watch it or something. But I saw a quick thing where they were saying how it's just the prototype. They just wanted to get it to whatever, was it at NRA? They wanted to get it to whatever show it was at, or was it a TriggerCon? And they just did it to the show. So they did a concept. And then, of course, all these super knowledgeable people who know everything about process are going to look at that concept thing and go, oh, this isn't a valid final product. So I think it's novel. I think it's cool. When I saw the thing, you keep a mag in it and you can shoot it and then you can extend it and carry a better mag and have a better grip. I think it's neat. I don't care if the first thing isn't perfect. It's like the zip gun, except in a different direction. But I think if you don't get people chopping guns in half and trying to make the trigger guard a hinge, then you might as well just stick with your 1911s, right?
I do have a question on that. I don't think that they made anything, but did they talk at all about how one might be carried, i.e. some sort of holster or carrying device?
I'm not sure if they even, are that far. I think they're just playing with it, right? It was like they did something else. It's not like they came there like, here, buy this. They were like, here's what we do.
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm just thinking as far as an idea that maybe they didn't do, but they said this is one way you might do it is this way.
Oh, but
when I first heard about it, when I first heard about it, I heard it was something about you're supposed to be able to keep it in your pocket, the trigger guard's covered, and then flip it out whenever you need it or whatever.
So nothing would protect like lint from getting in the barrel or something from getting in the mechanism when it's in your pocket? Pockets are not as clean as we think.
Yeah, that's just what I heard initially. So I don't know if they were. I'm sure they're going to come up with some kind of a guard for the muzzle or something. But
Yeah, well, how hard would it be to, still have access to the grip to pull it? So holsters nowadays with the Kydex and all that crap. Oh, that's. I think it's a gimmick. I think it's dumb, but hey, at least they're trying something new.
Almost every new idea at one point or another was considered a dumb idea until somebody said, wow, this is really innovative. Look what I can do now that I could not do before. I mean, for every fantastic thing that's invented, there's at least 100 others that didn't quite make it. So these what we flippantly call dumb ideas have to come forward for those few items to come forward that are indeed innovative, new, and great.
Come on, Dan. And next you're going to tell me you think that people really did land on the moon.
I mean, think of all, we have the gun of the day. How often do we focus a gun a day that was truly successful and still being used today? Very rarely. I mean, they were all variations of trying to invent a better mousetrap.
Because you guys kept getting mad at me for talking about the Browning high power. But, I mean, if we're talking perfection.
Anyway, so I'll weigh in on this one. And I do agree that innovation needs to keep going. G-Web's kind of said that. Dano mentioned it a little bit. So I love seeing new thinking, new ideas, or whatever. And Jubs is right. You don't always get it perfect the first time, but maybe someone else is looking at it, and says, "Oh, that's a decent idea, but what if we did this instead?" And then maybe it's like once that piece gets added or whatever, it ends up being a lot more functional or whatnot. However, I will also say I don't quite see the need for the gun that folds in half. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would like fit in a pocket that much easier than just something else with the pocket holster.
Much like the Taurus Curve is a niche gun. I mean, and I'm sure there's many other examples of niche guns out there.
Yeah, I guess. And here's the other thing. We're obviously we're talking about carrying stuff today. If there are people out there that like this will get them to carry for whatever reason, like they don't want to carry something else, but they see this and go, okay, this works. Well, that's one more person that's carrying. So I'm always all for that. Same thing like you said, the Curve or any of the other ones. Like if someone thinks, hey, this is the only way I can actually carry, okay, fine. Then at least we got them a step in the right direction. And maybe they'll be more confident in the future of carrying something bigger or not 9mm or whatnot. Make you happy.
I also think of like the judge and the governor. I mean, some people think that they are questionably on that line of gimmicky, but yet some people believe they wouldn't carry any other way, and they absolutely love it. And I think that falls in line with what you're talking about. Just like the Chiappa Rhino. Another example of innovation. Some people hate it, thinks it looks stupid. Other people think, okay, it's taken the revolver design has been quasi-dead for a while, and somebody finally did something unique with it.
Right. Yeah, and that is a pretty good example of something being innovative. And like you said, revolvers have been the same for quite a long time. And that thing, I'll admit, it definitely is a different different recoil impulse and all that stuff. But anyways, this folding thing, going back to that, I probably wouldn't carry one. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on it and try and shoot it just to see what it's like. I always like trying anything.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, I mean, it's a prototype. They might make something that'll make it like more efficient or maybe more useful or maybe more cool. Like, I don't know, spring assist or something. I don't know.
Right. And I forget who said something about keeping lint out of the barrel or whatever. I think that's a valid point, or maybe not necessarily that, but the hinge and all the different stuff. Like, I could see that being an issue. I'm not quite sure how you would solve that problem, because you don't want to put a plug in it, because then you got to pull the plug out before you can put the bullet in.
Right, and that's why I raised the issue of a holster. It's really just to keep gunk out and your finger away from the trigger.
Right, but I guess if you're using a holster, then why do you need the thing folded in half?
Yeah, kind of like defeats the purpose.
To keep dust out of the mechanism and lint out of the barrel.
And just so you've got less of a print, right? So you're wearing something maybe tighter, or maybe for a woman.
Or maybe some kind of like a pocket holster or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, lots of women wear such form-fitting stuff, and then they carry around a big-ass square thing like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well, but
they have problems.
If they have it in their purse,
32.
It's keys from wrapping around the trigger or getting stuck in the mechanism again. Because
if I was pocket carrying a gun, I don't think I'd be dropping my keys and change and everything else in that pocket.
Well, you keep mentioning keeping stuff out of the trigger or whatever, but it's my understanding this thing can't fire when it's folded up, right?
No, I don't mean accidental firing. I'm thinking just so when you pull it out, it's able to fire, and it doesn't see, gee, why is there a penny stuck between these two parts?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And that's good advice for any pocket holster. Is or pocket carry, is don't keep stuff in that pocket.
You have to remember, this was a prototype, and generally you don't design a holster before you design the gun. So, the holster always is going to come after the prototype.
It's just that it's such, and I understand that, and that's usually pretty much a non-issue. But since this is such a unique firearm, that's why I posed the question, because obviously it's going to need something that's a little bit different than your traditional holster.
Let's not forget that its freaking magazine well has a big hole in it, and it gets opened up, and 2 chunks of magazine hole are open too. So that means your mag, which is normally up in your gun, protected by at least your slide and bolt and barrel, is now just sitting there to get lint and garbage in. That can be even more easily obstructed with smaller stuff, right? So there's lots of stuff that this prototype doesn't address yet. And it may go nowhere. It may just be for like putting in your Jeep. It's like your off-road accessory kit, and then you got like a Plinken / noisemaker. And a lot of people forget that 9mm does have a place. If you get lost somewhere, you can shoot that thing off. People are going to hear you for like blocks.
You're welcome.
Oh, so it does actually have a use. That's good to know.
Yeah. Like if you get lost, they'll hear you way down the street.
Yeah, kind of like a rape weapon.
And if someone's walking away from you and you want to get their attention, then you can just like tap them on the shoulder with it, because we know it doesn't really have any power.
Keep firing them my way, guys. Keep firing them my way.
I think 9mm real personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say I carry 9mm. So.
A lot of other people carry 9s.
And Bob's over there sitting all quiet in the corner because his favorite love gun is a 9mm.
Yeah, but I'm looking at
Browning
getting one in a 40.
All right, so was that the full run of those? Danger of getting 2 over here. Let's keep moving. So we might not have addressed that fully. We might have missed something completely. Did anybody understand any of that? You're breaking up pretty good, Camper Bob.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I don't think anybody realizes Bob is in his new camper. So Bob bought the Ford van with a camper back. He's out in that today with his new AC. So refresh or something, Bob. Should we get into training then?
And it's actually working pretty good now.
The AC is, but not your internet. You're breaking up. Training. Starting our training with a drop leg. Come on. Restart. Training with a drop leg holster. Wow, I got it. I got through all 4 words this time. How do we want to take this one?
I don't know how to take that.
Only you would have
I've never had a drop leg holster. I don't know. I guess if that's how you're going to carry, you should obviously train with it.
And I will double down on what Smeggy said. You should train as you carry. If you carry with a drop leg holster every day, then that's how you should train. But I've yet to see anybody carry that way. Now, if you're in the military and you're special ops kind of a guy, maybe that is how you carry, and then you should train that way. But otherwise, no.
What if you just like to dress like them?
You should practice.
Well, then train. I mean, is there? Let me ask this then. Do you think that there's anything special about training you have to do with the drop leg versus other stuff? I would think really you just have to work on your draw. It's a little bit different position from another type of holster, but all the other training stuff still applies, right?
Yes.
I don't think so. I mean, just the shooting part of it, but the drop leg holster requires a whole nother set of situation. I mean, it's different. It's different as a shoulder holster, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, you are essentially open carrying, so there's one. And 2, it is because it's physically in a different spot on your body, it is, it's a slightly different draw because of the distance.
you haven't drop leg holstered then. When you got that thing way down there, those people walk around, people think they're walking around like with bravado. It's like you got climbing gear on. Imagine walking around with those like telephone pole spikes on. You feel all weird because you got this weird contraption around your waist and your legs. So they're totally different. And you don't just put on a drop leg and be like, oh, I'm going to go run with this. It takes a whole effort of sitting there and drawing from it. I mean, drawing from a holster, the reason we all wear holsters on our anchored, the platform is our belt, is because that's the shit right there. You put it inside the waistband, that's perfect. You got 100% control of your holster. When you drop it down to your leg, you don't tighten that thing up like you're scuba diving, I mean, you have to, because otherwise you have no ability to get the thing in and out. But it's a whole nother level of like trying to jab a thing into a slippery thing that's moving all around, trying to grab it from a thing that, sure, it's a foot down or however many inches down, but it's also at who the hell knows what angle, all kinds of angles. So the other thing is, if you're wearing a drop leg, well, it doesn't do you any good. Well, it does you only some good to go out and practice at a square range, like a regular range with targets and stuff, where there might be a range officer who's worried about you doing anything out of NRA protocols. So you might go to a range and practice that way all day and feel you're real proficient. But the reason you're wearing a drop holster is why? Armor, crap. So now you got to remember you're going to have all that crap on, and you got to do all that stuff over again with all your crap on, because sitting up and moving around, laying down, all that stuff's weird when you got your crap on. So your armor and your jackets or whatever happens, windbreak.
You are right in regards to I've never practiced with a drop leg holster, and I thought I said that at the beginning of this, but if I hadn't, you're absolutely right. And I guess I was trying to make the point, but maybe not strongly enough, that it is different. It's not the same, and that you should practice how you carry. And if you carry with a drop leg, then you should practice that way. And if you don't, you should practice as you normally carry. If that's from the hip, then the hip. If that's from the pocket, then it's the pocket. If it's from a chest holster, then that way.
One of the things I just thought of is if you're on the move drawing from the holster. Now normally, like, your waist moves a little bit when you're running, but not as much, I would think. If it's on your leg, you're gonna have a lot of swing. It's depending on which foot is forward at that certain second. So I bet you that's pretty challenging to draw from the holster while running.
Now, one thing I'll mention from the gun channel side, Robbie says drop leg is also impossible to defend. I'm not sure if he's referring to as in an argument for it or defense of oneself.
I think defensive oneself. I think to keep somebody from grabbing from it.
It's easy to take a firearm off someone wearing one.
Potentially, but same issues. It probably has retention to levels, like 3 levels of retention perhaps, and that means you got to be directly down on it. So it might seem like it, but there's also somebody might take a razor blade and slice your leg. So you don't act like just because you got retention on your shit, your gun is always going to be with you. Even with a lanyard, who knows what's going to go on potentially, right? Because you're definitely more than open carrying. Open carrying is one thing. Then there's open carrying with, like, extra spice on top, and that's when you're drop legging it. Now, all that said, you got winter coats or you're putting stuff on, all your crap on, then yeah, drop leg. You got to. You can't get at your gun when you're got any kind of chest rig or stuff. I mean, you can with a chest rig, but with some armor and stuff, you're digging for that gun. So you definitely want to drop leg it.
But then we're going back into what I mentioned at the beginning, which is whether it's military or police unit that's taking on militaristic type features. Then that's how you carry.
I'm kind of thinking this through as we go, but I've just thought of another thing is, we've talked about, a bear gun or something out in Alaska and whatnot. And I think we mentioned it with like the shoulder rig or the like a chest rig type thing. That's why people normally carry like that, because they got a bunch of extra coats on and everything. But maybe a drop leg would be useful in that situation if you're out snowshoeing or something. It keeps it away from some of your winter garments.
It'd be perfect for
carry holsters.
Henry, be perfect for leg and 22 rimfire. You'd be able to take on anything.
They do make winter carry holsters that are meant to go around your winter coat on the outside for open carry.
Winter coat or a windbreaker?
A winter coat.
Okay.
But as long as you mention it, it's time. It's time. That's right. It's time for the tactical pop quiz of the day. Time deuce for the second time in a row. Can you believe it? It's time for Gun Channel members to get off their butt and show off their brains. So Gun Channel's members, put your cursor down in the text box, limber up your fingers, because here we go. It's because somebody called for it, and I am going to deliver one way or the other. So, Smeggy, are you available to I Spy the Gun Channel side?
10-4, good buddy.
All righty. So, and have you seen the correct answer?
I've seen the answer provided.
Absolutely good enough. All right, I shall read the question twice for Gun Channels only, as follows. What was the first branch of the U.S. military to place a significant order and adopt the M16 rifle? What was the first branch of the U.S. military to place a significant order and adopt the M16 rifle?
Oh, man. Fast finger.
Alabama National Guard.
We already got an answer. Sean Ponery, Air
Mr.
Force.
Ponery. Absolutely correct. It was the United States Air Force, not the Army, not the Marines. The Air Force was the first.
Was the Air Force actually considered a combat force, though? Because I thought
yes,
they were.
They have aspects which are combat able. Yes. So congratulations, Mr. Ponery. You are today's tactical pop quiz winner for Gun Channels only. So congratulations, Sean. And at this point, being that today's a twofer, I'm going to do the right thing and hand it to Bob this time. So,
All
Bob,
right. So Sean Ponery, that makes you the second winner of the daily gun show quiz. So that makes you the tactical hot shot number 2 of the day.
congratulations, the Ponery. All right.
Sorry, Sean.
Nobody else has that on their shows. Nobody. All right, so unprecedented double tactical pop quizzes. I would have done it both on Gun Channels. Dano insists on the YouTube people win too. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
All this winning.
Hooray! Everyone's a winner.
Winning! Yeah! Tiger blood.
Let's see, how many people are watching right now? We have to have that many pop quizzes so that everyone has a chance to win.
Oh, wait a minute. Changed YouTube around. They changed YouTube around. The numbers are on the other side now.
Yes,
oh,
they
look,
changed it.
Look what happens when you thumb it up. Oh, that's awesome.
What happens when you thumb it up?
Dude, oh no, that's amazing. I can't believe it. You see it? Look what happens.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is cool.
Man, you got to press that. You guys won't believe it if you press the thumbs up. What actually happens? It's like unprecedented. You won't believe it. It's time. It's time. It's time to give it a thumbs up.
Oh, I got another pop.
Do it, people. Do it.
Just seen dollar signs. All right, so
come on, do it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, goodness. It's Bob's last day now too.
Yeah, that's just because he gave himself an aneurysm.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he was trying to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
It's supposed to be Mexican. Damn.
I seen something similar to what just happened when I skinned that rattlesnake. All his guts came flying out. All right, so where the hell are we at?
We got all the topics. We can do a daily thing.
Gun shop of the day. Jimmy, go win.
Gun of the day is the T-33, the Tokarev, because that's in honor of DanOs' last day, and I know he bought one.
Jimmy, don't go next. Bob's going to go next.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bob. Nobody heard
I just said it. T-33 Tokarev. Anybody hear that?
Now go.
T-33 in honor of Dano because I know he loves that tiny little bullet.
7.62. I am familiar with it. In fact, it's in my safe right now, but yes, very easy to disassemble. Amazingly so. Put back together, very easy to clean and maintain.
Do you see it? Like, do you see the Browning resemblance in it?
Yeah. You know, but the commies are famous for taking, you know, certain ideas of ours and using it as they please.
True. So, well, you like it though, Dano? It's a good shooter.
Oh yeah, it's I would say, you know, fairly similar to 9mm. It is a faster round, although it's a much lighter round. Typically, it's around the 85 grain weight projectile, and although it's humming along at a significantly faster rating as far as feet per second than your 9mm. It basically, depending on what brand of ammo, like Bulgarian surplus ammo, you can get close to 2,000 feet per second out of it. PPU ammo, which is what I have, is probably closer to 1,400 feet per second.
But that is zipping along. I mean, 2,000 feet per second out of a pistol. That's into what, 357 auto or what's that? That new Belgian one or whatever. You know, that neck down SIG 357, is it?
Yeah. Well, 327 SIG.
Yet the commies came up with that when? What? That was in the 30s?
Yeah, there was just
So are
prior
you now
to World War II.
Commie? Is that what I hear, Bob?
No, I'm just saying I actually really like the round myself. I read some of the statistics on it and stuff, and it's really interesting. I'm really tempted to pick one up.
Yeah, I got mine from, I believe it was Southern Ohio or Ohio Southern Gun Works, something like that, for basically I want to say 200 or 220. It also still had the roll mark of the Yugoslavian government on top, which was nice because not all of them do. And it is the military variation, so it's the M57. And mine carries one more round than the Russian variation of the Tokarev.
Yeah, because that was one downside on them. They were like a single stack magazine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so they didn't hold a whole lot of rounds.
I think mine holds 8. I'm not positive on that off the top of my head.
Yeah, so I mean, but definitely a cool old Russian gun, functions good. And like I say, and kind of in honor of Dano's last day, I knew he'd bought one, and thought I'd make that our gun of the day.
Right. Yeah, and I bought that one primarily as a very inexpensive kind of a range toy. Is I had heard a little bit about it, and it was, you know, I happened to have a little extra money at that time, and I thought, well, why? It's like, well, why not? You know, if I don't like it, I can always sell it, and so, but I actually do kind of like it, and I don't take it every time to the range with me, but probably every other time or every third time I'll take it to the range. As well as because it is different looking, people look at it and say like, ooh, what's that? And it's not easy to get a gun that gets people, other shooters, to say, ooh, what's that, for only $200.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it's a military surplus gun, so it's going to be robust. It's going to stand up. And like you say, it's a range toy, but it's a range toy that gets lots of use because it's so unique. It brings conversations. So yeah, I think they're a heck of a cool gun, especially for the price.
Yep. And that, I believe, is our gun for the day.
Right on. I was looking at the gun history, and we got Jimmy back. So, Bob, is it okay if Jimmy does the gun shop of the day?
Sure am.
All right. So, Jimmy was
Cool.
away this. We were farting around this morning and went over by, what was it? Saber Knights Academy, a new place that opened up. It's kind of like a dojo, I guess you'd call it, because they're basically exercising / martial arts, and they're sword fighting with the what do you call them? Lightsabers, and they're pretty rugged, so you can slam on them. And then the idea is to get your kids, something active to do that's nerd related, science fiction ish. And then I imagine they're probably going after some of the, what do they call it, canon from the movies, right? Like they probably are kind of going on. I have no idea. I'm assuming. But anyway, we went up there. It's in the same parking lot as the Scottsdale Gun Club, and Scottsdale Gun Club. So you're doing the gun shop today.
Yeah, actually, while you guys were doing the gun of the day, I was trying to upload some of the pictures, but I really couldn't because I was on the phone that they're on. So, unfortunately, I couldn't do that. But it was a great shop, though. Huge selection. The customer service was great. It seemed like I really didn't deal with anybody. I asked the guy if I could take some pictures. They were super receptive to it. They were like, "Yeah, go ahead." Super cool. All of them were busy with people. There was only one AK up there. I was kind of disappointed in that, but they have a great bathroom. Some of the negatives were prices were a little bit high. They weren't like gouging people, but they were a little high. But other than that, it was a great shop, huge place. Almost like, I wouldn't call it a big box store, but close. So yeah, it was a great first experience. And I want to go see the place that's right next to it, actually.
Did you say great bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I won't ask why, but any coffee or place to sit or donuts?
They do have a lounge. I didn't actually venture off into that part, but they do have a lounge for club members and stuff like that, and friends of club members. So there is a nice little place you can relax.
But it's not like, here's some coffee because you're here, or like, here's some coffee because you're a customer, or maybe potentially a customer. It's like, you pay us extra money and you go in the back, like if you're at a golf course and into a country club.
Oh, that's not covered in their membership?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm just saying it's not like DanOs expecting like a coffee pot and some cups there, and you just help yourself, or maybe throw a nickel in a pot or something to help pay for it. Like, you got to.
Oh yeah, no, that's not like that at all.
But I think once you go in the back, they probably come up to you with a hot towel and bring you whatever you want to drink, right?
Yeah, and they're like Hooters girls without the t-shirts.
They got one of those little dustpans and a little broom, so every time you shoot, they collect it that way and go, "Shall I keep your brass, sir? Shall I heat this up for you? Should I bag this?" They put each one in an individual baggie.
It is. I mean, that's a pretty fancy part of Phoenix, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know how much a membership would be. I'm not going to put the place down. It was a great place, but I'm pretty sure it's not cheap.
Do they let you collect your brass if you're a reloader?
I suspect reloaders don't go to Scottsdale, but I might be wrong. It's fancy. It's new.
Yeah, you got to remember that just goes with it. If you go to a gun shop in California, it's going to be pretty fancy, like in Hollywood or something like that, or anywhere like that. Anywhere that's a higher income area, all of it's like that. You're not going to find that little mom and pops that's jammed to the ceiling with stuff. I mean, you're going to find really nice shops that the people that are used to living or that live in the area are used to shopping at. So, I'd love to go in there if they'd let me in the door.
Oh, wait, did I post the video of the bathroom there yet?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I did make a video in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom because
just tell me that there was no toe tapping involved in the making of this video.
I'm just gonna say that the Scottsdale Gun Club fancy bathroom, and I made a video in their bathroom, so you can watch that. I'm gonna put that up as Patreon only. So all you other people that don't support nothing, you don't even know what the bathroom's like at Scottsdale Gun Club. Yep.
And you won't get to hear USB.
So, anyways, yeah.
All right, so that's our gun shop of the day. Stay tuned for even more gun shop reviews. And every time I go in the bathroom, I'll tell you about it. Make a video in there. I'm going to make that a new perk on Patreon, like bathroom video. What's a good number for a bathroom video? Like, there's got to be a good.
$2?
No, like 60633. Is that P backwards or something? There's got to be some funny number for P. Anyhow,
just call it rest, stop, repose.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about new gun shops every day. It's one of the reasons we started this show. So we're looking forward to kicking that in gear. Yeah, they have a website, DanOs, ScottsdaleGunClub.com. I just saw that. And if anybody wants to check it out, ScottsdaleGunClub.com. I've done videos on them. I probably link to them, but we don't need to give them any plug. Or Scottsdale Gun Club for crying out loud. Oh, I was going to do something. I keep forgetting that I don't have to use my right hand. It's awesome. It feels way better when I use my left hand to click the mouse. I was going to do a healthy tip today. Let's say somebody was minding
fall down.
Let's say somebody was minding their own business, and a bunch of nuns and orphans were gathered around, living their life and singing and dancing with like nuns and orphans do. And some like bad dudes came over and were harassing them. So this guy steps in there and he stops the altercation of these nuns and orphans, and in the process of thrashing these ruffians, probably sprains his wrist. What the hell do you do for a sprained wrist? I've tried icing it, or this guy has tried icing it, and now I've had it like really, really tight, and that doesn't seem to be. It makes it not hurt because it doesn't move, but it's not getting better. So what would you do for a sprain? What do y'all do?
The rule of thumb is ice for the first 24, heat thereafter.
Amputation works.
Okay, so I've heard. Am I mistaken about the heat cold? Heat cold, is that for sore muscles and not for this type of thing? Because I knew it had something to do with heat and cold, right? And I didn't want to start screwing around and putting all cold.
Yeah, cold.
I know that's bad.
Oh no,
Cold?
you want all cold because that will reduce inflammation and swelling.
Okay, so put
Heat
ice.
will promote healing. Promotes healing.
Right, after 24 hours, you need to control the
Right.
amount of inflammation first.
I'm completely agreeing with you for once, Dano.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Besides, it's not like we have a paramedic in here that could tell us. Wait. Never mind.
I don't think we do have one that can tell us. That's why he's asking the question.
I'm a expired EMT, and all EMTs do is wrap it up and immobilize it, which Ask Jimmy is basically what I did, and then no one did anything after that. So I don't know what to do after that. All you do as an EMT is watch after that.
Yeah, the EMTs stabilize it, and then you go to a doctor, and G-Web stabilizes it, and then I've heard prayer can work wonders.
And on that note, what else we got going on?
It's not now long term. What does that mean? Only last 5 years back when I was in. Because you got to keep going back. Like even when I was an EMT, like then I think the class or two after got to do what's the pen, epinephrine, and then I think they can do oxygen now. Am I crazy? So they change things all the time for what EMTs do, tasked with. I think same for paramedics. All right, thanks. Because I've been wanting to put ice on it, and I thought there was something about heat and cold. Salt water. I don't even have some. Maybe I do have a bunch of stuff.
Oh, listen to John. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's like 13.
All right. So thanks for the info. I'll probably just go look up how to fix myself online. That usually works.
Yeah, I think the alternating thing, you were right. That has something to do with the muscles because you want it like the heat loosens it up, and then the cold takes the swelling down, then the heat loosens it up, but I think that's like muscle type shit.
You're not alternating in the same day.
What?
You're not alternating the heat and the cold, like multiple times per day.
No. I had thought that I knew that I'd heard that, but I didn't know. I thought it was for sore muscles, and that's why I didn't go ahead and do it. And then I had at the beginning, like I say, it was fine. Jamie gave me a bunch of ice, so the whole way home I had it in the sling, immobilized, sitting in ice. So it was great. Got home and it was all numb and everything was fine. And then Oh, and then whenever the ice melted, I just held it in front of the air conditioner vent. So it's been fine the whole way home. I kind of figured it was done. And then I've just been sitting here minding my business. I touched the mouse to start the show. And like I say, it was like a knife went up through my little pinky nail, up into my elbow, and then up into my shoulder, and then pulled it back out slowly. It was horrible. So
I read in Vietnam they used to inject a tiny bit of vodka into their veins for pain. That apparently worked.
All right, so
Well, let's not do that because
No.
I don't want you Ubs to die of alcohol poisoning.
I will probably not do that. I was looking up some gun history, and I did find a few things. Princess Diana was today. Also, where'd it go? Where's my? Oh, down. All right. Am I locked up? I'm locked.
We can hear you fine.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I can't switch tabs, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys have access to that thing. About a third of the way down, I thought I saw an interesting gun one. Otherwise, it was a pretty bland day today. A lot of people died. Oh, there we go. A lot of people died. Yeah, my computer's acting funny. So if I'm still here, if you want to check that out.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here in a second.
Oh, that's what it is. I just found it. It's weird. 1919, the Communist Labor Party is founded in Chicago with the motto, Workers of the World Unite. Am I reading this correctly? That the Communist Labor Party was founded in Chicago, of all places, and in 1919, of all years?
Communism existed before that.
That's what I thought. So
No, that was maybe the American Communist Party.
So that's the word they're missing out then, because the communist had to exist before 1919.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was the late 1800s, which is when the guy's name is eluding me at the moment that wrote the book on socialism.
Why is my
Oh, snap.
Oh shoot!
Oops.
We have ourselves a special guest.
Wait. There we go.
Dun dun dun.
The new old Dano, or the old new Dano is here? How did that work? Who was first? Or did you guys both come back? Did you guys come on? I forget. Did one of you come on first?
It's like Flashback Thursday.
I guess for all the hundreds of new viewers, Island Z just showed up. So you got off work. Thanks for showing up. Dano's last day.
Hey, Z.
He's doing this all in mime.
He's speechless.
Yeah, I know. It's such a it's monumental. Heavily on the mental.
Nice to hear from you.
Good to be here.
So Bob and I started the show, and then at some point, like we were going to kill each other with the good idea, bad ideas, and one of y'all came along and said, "Let's break this up. Can't we all get along?" Or how'd that happen? Who came first? I don't even remember. Was it Z or was it Dan?
Oh yeah, Z was here about 2 months before I was.
Okay, and then
Was it that long?
you left in July, June, Jan, the J month.
I think it was June. I think.
Right on. And then everybody's back. And then what? Was Smeggy here already when Z was here? We were all.
Oh, yeah.
We were 5 for a minute.
Yep.
Okay. And then there was a bunch of off-air stuff between Smeggy and Z, which I'm not supposed to talk about.
Yeah, there was apparently some type of copyright flags on. Ah, yeah.
Hey, I never filed those, man.
The lawyers involved.
Well, then who the hell took me to court? Because
It
I
was
paid
his
out.
lawyer. We didn't do it. It was his lawyer.
Yeah, somebody got $2 million of my Patreon money.
But you live on in the Daily Gun Show in that vein, and as long as there's a tactical pop quiz, you shall continue to live on.
Well, let's be honest about the daily pop quiz. You know, you will as well, my friend.
Well, I'm sure anybody can do the what I call the used car salesman voice.
But you do it so well, Dano.
Thank you. It's almost like I've either been one or have bought a few.
It's totally unique.
So we did the tactical pop quiz already, so otherwise we could have Dan and Z do that, unless you wanted to go do it twice, because Dano did unprecedented 2 of them today. He's taking advantage because we can't fire him.
Hey man, I'm just here for along for the ride. Whatever you need out of me, let me know.
Right on, glad you made it. I think though we're about wrapping up. It's about 5:20, so that means we've been going for an hour and 20. We hit all our topics, and I don't think there's anything else other than
Wait, we didn't do a movie, and Z's the movie guy.
There you go.
That's true.
So you get to pick the movie too, Z. We haven't had a good movie. The movies have been shitty since you left. Let's just
Man, a gun movie, huh?
You don't have to pick Terminator because of 2 days ago.
Come on, gun movie. I know I watched a gun movie recently.
I was gonna say, what's the last movie you watched?
What was the last movie I watched? It was. Man, I don't even remember. I'm so busy. There ain't a whole lot of movie watching going on.
Well, Robbie's throwing out Thief as a movie of the day.
Excellent choice.
Although some people can't put in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
I am going to say, as far as quality of movies go, Thief has it beat. But if you like, was it Joe Pesci or was it Sylvester Stallone?
Sylvester
Stallone and the lady from Golden Girls. But if you want to talk real deal Holyfield type of stuff, Thief was basically, he had James Caan. Didn't he send him to that place out in Arizona? Front Sight? No. What's Gunsight. Yeah. And I think he whether he trained with Cooper or not, that was like, I think I'm pretty sure where he sent him. And if you watch that movie with James Caan, like he's cutting the pie as he's going around the corners and everything like that. So basically, I would choose Thief with James Caan as a movie of any day, because it's a fantastic movie. It does have a little bit of an 80s-ish soundtrack, or late 70s, so it's going to have, it's dated in that way. But this is one of those movies that you realized why everybody thought James Caan was a tough guy because of a movie like this, because it's not a happy ending for everybody, but it's a damn fine movie. Anybody else here
I'm
seen
gonna
Thief?
agree. I have seen Thief. It's a heck of a movie. James Caan was like an iconic actor back then. He was a tough guy, and he was lots of car chase scenes. He played movies with lots of that kind of stuff. I mean, he always played the hero, but the tough guy hero. So yeah, I love the movie. Yeah, I thought it was great. And he did actually. There was some reasonable gun handling in it.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess I've been thinking of Bullet the whole time. So which one is Thief?
Okay, Thief is where it's got James Caan, Willie Nelson's in it for a minute. It's got a couple other like 70s, 80s character actors that you would definitely recognize, G. And basically, like, he gets out of prison or jail.
Okay.
And he's... What's that?
They make him steal a car?
No.
Okay.
They want him to end up doing this heist, and he's not part of any crew or anything like that when he gets out. So like some of the mob guys want to kill him, but like the little head mob guy doesn't want to kill him. He wants to utilize him as a tool. Let's put it like that. And then it's got some other weird stuff with the lady that he picks up. So it's like one of those ones where he's kind of like Sonny from Godfather, and then he'll put a hand in a lady's face, and he does get to kind of be mean and surly in this movie. So like, although he's a good guy, he's still like somewhat of a murderer and thief. You know what I mean? So he is a badass. He's a tough guy. Like he walks into somebody's office and just literally kicks the shit out of them or whatever, and it's like, I'm gonna be back for my money. And like that's kind of the how it all starts, or not how it all starts, but like that's where it gets going and everything like that. And I think he has to break into. He has to do a special type of break in order to either A, get out, B, get enough money, C, take care of his girl and now adopted son, which was weird. And there's a lot of adult material in this movie. It's excellent though, and the gunfights in it are pretty good.
DB saying he's a safe cracker and he steals diamonds.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, so I'm just relaying messages.
Yeah, I have seen the movie, and one of the things I remember about it is all the action, different from what today is. What, at least at the time, it struck me as realistic action that could actually happen in the real world.
Oh, 100%, Danny. That's exactly it. That was what Michael Mann was trying to do. He wanted realistic. He wanted, like, I think this is the dude that ends up doing Heat like 10, 15 years later. You know what I mean? Like, he likes the realism. He wants his people that are doing the acting to, not look like idiots up there. And I agree with you in that it was way more realistic and not quite as over the top. It was gritty and raw too. I mean, there were some things that like he says to people, and there's a couple people getting blasted and blowed up and all kinds of stuff in this movie. And he'll definitely show you how to clear a house with a 9/11 or 1911.
Yep.
This is from the 70s, right? It's not a modern movie.
No, I think you're right. It's like from the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, you love the cars in it.
I know I've seen it. I just, for whatever reason, I don't watch movies good enough. I mix them up I'm mixing it up with the bullets. It's not driving around Mustang in this one.
Well, and also it's not Steve McQueen, it's James Caan. That's one of the biggest difference between those two movies as well.
No, but I keep seeing a Mustang. But this is the guy from Alien Nation.
Alien Nation, yes. You are correct. He was the cop with the 454 Casull, right? Wasn't that what he carried? Single action. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, man, and I mean, I know we have a younger audience sometimes and stuff like that, and they don't appreciate the old stuff, but the movie's definitely worth watching at least one time, if not a couple of times, because you might find stuff on the second time that you didn't realize, you didn't catch it, plot points and whatnot.
Now, you didn't know because you've been around for a while, but all the young ladies that used to come to the show left when you left. So now we have a bunch of old dudes watching the show.
That's true.
I feel bad. It wasn't my fault. I didn't take them with me, just so you know. They may have left, but I didn't take them with me.
All right. Anything else on the movie?
No, thanks for doing the movie of the day.
Because if not, I'd like to take this moment of this very special edition show and then Z actually joining us at the end of the show to do in honor of Z, tactical pop quiz with Z doing his quintessential thing at the end of the quiz. So we're going to run it the normal way.
Saying we are doing the tactical quiz.
Dance for us.
That's right. 3 times. 3 times. So today, this one is YouTube versus gun channels. So, Smeg, if you can set that up for yourself, let me know when you're ready. The question and answer are in the side chat.
Yep. I'm good to go.
All right. So those of you over on YouTube and those of you over on gun channels are competing against each other. Put your cursor down in the text box, limber up your fingers, and get ready because here it comes twice in a row. What was Eugene Stoner's last weapon he designed? Thanks to Dead Horse, who sent this in. What was Eugene Stoner's last weapon that he designed? So thank you, Dead Horse, for sending this in. This is a retread question. but if you can remember, you should already have typed it in.
I got it. It's the double chamber polymer bong.
The AR-180 is not correct. That is one of his guns, but that's not his last gun. The AK-47 was a gun that he competed against.
There we go. We got the answer.
Who's our winner?
Clovertac on the YouTube side.
What?
Clovertac, correct, with the answer of Colt 2000 was the last weapon Eugene Stoner designed. So congratulations, Clovertac. You are today's Tactical Pop Quiz winner. And on that, I'm going to hand the microphone right over to Z.
Well, congratulations, Clovertac. Way to be a winner. Feels good, doesn't it? Now, you'll know, of course, that makes you the Tactical Pop Quiz hot shot for today. Congratulations.
So
Winning feels good.
Not only is it the reunion show and DanOs' last show, but it is also the show where all three of y'all said that in one show because of DanOs.
Yes.
Intentioning rules and just taking all precedents and throwing them in the garbage.
Yeah.
And doing three tactical pop quizzes in one.
Oh, he's got senioritis, dude. He doesn't care.
Oh, you forgot about the other ones. It's like, oh, now let's do the tactical pop quiz. Don't say windbreaker.
Just like when you get that old DanOs age, right? You just figure, oh, I can say anything, right? Nobody's going to care. They'll just go, it's an old guy.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what Bob's been using for an excuse for 20 years.
Damn right.
I'm going to do what I want.
Well, what do we got left?
All right. So where are we at?
Yeah, what's left on the schedule? Do we have any gun history today, or?
No, not really good one today. We had PTSD we missed last week. It's still the middle of the week, so there's nothing. I'm not gonna look forward to them. So nothing today. We talked about whatever the hell we just talked about on the thing. And
What, physical training, gimmick, no, what the full concealed pistols, training with a drop leg holster.
Yeah, you missed the prostate carry. We talked about how Yankee was talking about prostate carry. Yeah, that was
Colon carry.
Was it colon carry? I thought it was
Yeah.
prostate.
Oh, it's colon carry, and you have to have the tactical butterscotch first, if I remember.
Right. Anyway, yeah. See, you should have been here for that because man, we screwed it right up. We were talking about well, you have to put a Kydex sheath on it. Yeah. Anyway, Dano was all worried about lint.
It's funny, the gimmick known as the full conceal pistol. There was, I think it was on Instagram the other day or whatever, and it was. What's the one that's like a sneaky Pete, but it's not a sneaky Pete? Where literally like the trigger itself is uncovered, but like the rest of it is concealed, and it looks like a wallet. I don't remember what the name of that holster was. So like literally, you could pull the trigger through its concealment, but that made me think of it because that was like the joke on the meme or whatever. It was and at that time, that's when he asked for my wallet or something like that, and it's a picture of like a 380 or a 32 or something like that, and it's in there, and he's about to hand it to some dude that's trying to rob him.
Dang, you know what's funny? I was just thinking about that today, Z. I remember reading Easy Rider magazine, God, 30 years ago or more. And that was one of the advertisements in the back was you could get this holster that was made to work with 32 or 380 Walthers. And you took your grips off, you screwed this, looked like a wallet with a hole for the trigger guard. And you just screwed this on and place your grips, and you put that in your back pocket like, your wallet. And when somebody wanted your wallet, you could just pull it out and boof.
And that was the theory behind that. And, so is that what you guys were kind of talking about for full concealed pistols, or what were you guys throwing out there?
No, that's another thing. There was this shoot in Washington State maybe a month ago or something, and one of the things unveiled there was imagine a Glock, and now imagine that right behind the trigger, you cut the mag well. So you cut the pistol grip off a Glock from the trigger backwards.
Uh-huh.
So now you got the trigger guard up front, and you got the trigger guard holding the magazine to the gun, right? So cut the trigger guard off from the gun and cut the trigger guard off from the, the grip, and now where the trigger guard's going to have that right angle, cut there and put a hinge in all three of those places, and now put a hinge right behind the trigger. So now the grip of the pistol folds forward towards the accessory rail and the muzzle, and the trigger guard accordions out and folds so that it all lies flat. And I think the trigger must hide somewhere. And then basically it lets you put the pistol in a form factor that's a rectangle, very similar to that gun the kid used in RoboCop 2.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. And I think I remember seeing that picture, and the first question in my mind was, you can't put a full magazine in there, right, and expect it to transformer-ish back into a pistol with the magazine in the way, right? Isn't that kind of?
From what I remember seeing, you can totally do that. It's just that then, if you want to, you can deploy the grip and run it like normal also. But you can, with a little dink magazine, they provide it with like a 2 or 5 round magazine or something. As that, drop that mag, position the other one into place and insert it, because it's already in the thing. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on it, but it seems very much like the FMG9. Magpul did this in 2009. SHOT Show, they debuted it, and then they made an airsoft version of it in 2011, I think. So,
I just remember when I saw it, it just looked like something that I didn't think I wanted to fire, just due to the way it was all folded up and everything. Like I wouldn't feel confident in shooting the dang thing.
Yeah, it was a prototype, and there was big gaps in it. It was just a concept type of thing. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, crudeness or accuracy or whatever. Why would you want to tell everybody that idea in a world of 3D printers and fairly inexpensive 3D mills and injectable plastics you can do at home? Like, why would you tell somebody an idea like that? I would get it all the way done before I debuted it, I would think.
I might be with you on that.
If Glock could make theirs more like the Magpul one, I would actually be a little bit more interested in it.
Well, like what the air ram on a air rifle, right? On the break one or whatever, and so it's not like you can't really fold it all the way in half, but at least if it was that, and when you locked it, you actually heard the detent actually making a solid, pink or whatever. I would feel much more confident in deploying that firearm. But the way I looked at the prototype, that was just one of those things like, no way, dude. I might throw it at somebody, hold it in my hand instead of a roll of quarters or something, but it didn't seem like anything I just wouldn't feel confident.
Yeah. Well, I think it was such an early prototype, but I think it's going to end up being a dead end.
You never know, and that's the whole thing about that.
Yeah. A lot of things are. I've always thought that whole idea of, because that's been around for years. I've seen World War II submachine guns where the magazine, folded forward in order to come down to where you could actually chamber around and shit. So that idea has been around. Nobody's done it with a pistol that I know about, but I think it's just kind of a gimmick.
I think it's a little early just to be assuming that it's going to be a total failure, Bob. I mean, it's just a prototype testing thing.
I predict these things all the time, and I'm usually right. So,
yeah. Well, no, you talk out your ass all the time. That's what you do.
No, Dano. You see, you just don't, recognize genius when you see it.
Well, now, Bob, do you realize that there is a fine line between genius and insanity, right? It's a very fine line.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I hop back and forth lots.
I'm not sure you ever come back.
Yeah. I'm straddling the line. Let's call it that.
He simply goes forth.
And what, the gun was the T-33, so that's one of them, sort of long-barreled Tokarevs? Is that what that is?
Here's some screens of that Glock.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at, I'm a whole lot of hell no on that thing, but...
Oh, see, I'm confused. This is the one that I saw that they have ready to go. You have this little dink mag in it.
Okay.
The mag ready to go, and then you put it in. That's what they sell. That's what you can buy.
I think that is viable. That SIG.
This was like pre-sale. They do say buy now, so I guess they are selling it. So maybe this is its final product. And then a little goofy.
Man, I don't know. I see a finger getting pinched or pinched in the clothing, so you can't lock it into position. At least with that SIG, the grip, although shortened, it wasn't moving the grip. You know what I mean?
Right. It was still the gun. You just made
Yeah.
it short. It's still the gun, though.
I wonder if that SIG one is drop safe.
He. It's a 320, so I'm gonna say no.
No.
But that, I mean, no bullshit. That's pretty compact.
Yeah, but you know what? That's probably, you know why it's a SIG 320? Because they probably went, what kind of worthless, useless gun can we cut in half just in case we're wrong?
Well, I mean, they could have done it to a 250 as well, but
This is a modular gun where the internal frame is the serialized part, meaning the external frame costs $35. So yes, it's a $35 frame they cut up, and the gun itself, you just take it out and put it in any full size frame. So yeah, this is just an option for a modular gun chassis.
I think this one is way better design, in my opinion.
I would be interested in knowing its thickness.
I think if you scroll down, they can show you. I don't know if it says.
The same exact thickness as the gun.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what he's wondering. Yeah. There's no trimming on that.
Those dimensions, and they're very similar to a Glock 26.
A Glock 26 doesn't fit in a cell phone pocket. So that means this.
Right, I understand that. I said similar, not the same.
Well, but I'm saying similar because they Tetrised it into this little square package. So this will actually fit into a pocket where a Glock, any Glock, is going to have a grip sticking out.
Yep.
I mean, my Glock 26, I can fit in my pocket. I mean, it's full, but it fits and nothing shows.
Okay, so now here you go. Okay, you just scroll down to the Glock 19. Okay, so they stopped with that funny roll it back baloney on the grip, and it looks like it's similar to the SIG now, where you actually can get a finger or two on that without any craziness.
They call this their M1, and that's this little gizmo that holds the magazine in front of the trigger guard. Now, tell me, does it look like the trigger guard's still there if this magazine goes all the way up to the trigger? So that's an extensive modification to that frame. Now you go down to this Glock, and you're no longer in a modular frame. You're paying $600 for that Glock right there. And it looks like, I'm not sure what they're doing with the magazine well there, but they might potentially be getting rid of your trigger guard and be making this thing your trigger guard.
And to me, that's what it looks like, because that's what's holding the mag, and it's an interesting design. I'm gonna talk a lot less crap about this one than the other one for sure. I think that they put more thought or something into this one, and because I mean, in all honesty, how much? Oh wait, no, you're right. The Glock frame is the serialized part, isn't it?
I mean, I would like to see it, put it into correct form as well as retracted a couple times, so I could have a better understanding as to how it's locking in place.
Oh, I don't. My understanding is it doesn't. Like, it stays that way. Yeah. There's no.
We're talking two different things here now. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this one stays in place. I believe.
Yeah.
It's just made to be that much smaller.
A short grip, and then a thing on the front that holds a regular mag. The other one is the foldy-uppy kind of
transformer. Yeah.
And that's until you mentioned that it looks like the mag goes into your trigger guard. I was gonna say, I wonder if you can just buy that clip, and yeah, I'm calling it a clip because it holds the magazine, and just like put that on, your regular gun without changing anything on it. So then it's like it basically just keeps you a full-size mag attached to the gun. Maybe it's a little faster, but I don't think you can do that now that you mentioned the trigger guard thing.
Yeah, it definitely looks like you'd have to take the front trigger guard off at the very least. And I'm saying that on that other one, the older prototype or whatever, man, I see when that magazine or the wraparound magazine or whatever slides up, I see that pinching fingers or clothing or something.
And you can't even put a light on that thing.
I wouldn't say that you couldn't, actually. I bet that you. I mean, they might not make a light for it right now, but if you remember, they make the magnetized mounted flashlight. So I bet you could.
And You could use one of those recoil spring assemblies that has a laser built in.
Man,
It's not a light, I understand
I
that.
still love this dude's lunchbox though. I mean, I don't shoot 9mm or nothing like that, but that's a pretty cool little pencil box he's got right there with the light on it.
Hey, me neither, but I would definitely shoot the hell out of that thing.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like, man, how many? Let's see. So that's both a. You'd have to get 2 tax stamps on that. Is that correct? Because it's a short-barreled rifle and a machine gun. Is that accurate?
Are you guys talking about the FMG9 now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, because it's a machine gun. It can be any size barrel, so you only need the one once it's a machine gun.
Okay.
But this is no different. This is a foldable trigger guard with a hinged thing that holds the mag in the grip. And then all they did is not put the stock, and the stock comes forward and addresses Dano's issue of covering the barrel. But they could address that with their mag plate, floor plate. And then they added a handle to the top, which has an accessory light, so a weapons light. So I'll mute the volume.
That we're working on.
Wait a minute. Mute the volume and play it and look at it. Except for the handle and the flashy part, because he can open it from the handle. Look how he folds the grip. That is that same gun. It's just that he has a shroud, which is a stock. So all they really did is make that gun with a worse trigger guard than Magpul.
Oh, wait a minute though. Like, how does the pistol grip fold?
Well, differently, but I mean the concept of a folding forward.
Oh, yeah, I got you there.
Mag in it, and you unfold it and insert the mag. That's this gun. All they did is put a shroud on top with a handle, and put a shroud underneath with a stock. So if you look at this, it's the Glock and a folding grip and a pistol grip. So all they did is take apart an FMG9 and not make it an SBR.
And that is a 30 rounder too, isn't it?
33 because it's stupid 9mm.
Oh, okay. My bad. But and you see how the stock itself is, not hollow, but it's open space, so it just goes right over.
It's just a shell.
Yeah.
It's a shell. Like I said, it covers the front so that it's a concealed unit. It's a better deal, but it makes it an SBR. So they'd have to make this a brace, and then they're done. Now it's
but it's also, I mean, I don't want to say that's camouflaged or anything like that, but if you saw that, would you just think that, boy, that's a pretty small flashlight that you have on your flashlight there?
If there was anyone walking around with this, maybe 2 or 3 people would go, I wonder what that was. And then that's as much as they thought as they'd put into it. Maybe 1 out of 100 people would be like, I like flashlights a lot, and I got to figure out what that flashlight was. But everybody else in the world is never going to think something like that is a defensive tool, ever.
So it's totally innocuous is the deal.
I mean, do you think anybody would just look at that and go, a gun, I'm scared. It's a square.
Right? You're probably right on that.
Yeah. I don't see anybody who's not a gun enthusiast picking that out.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed if you weren't into that kind of stuff. I imagine it would be pretty tough.
Now where was that picture where we had the top off? So he's about to take the top over somewhere in here. When you take the cover off the front, right in here, right? When you take the cover off the front and you take the stock off, that's basically your top shroud and your bottom shroud. Now you no longer have a little square thingy that's obscure and weird. You've got a folded gun. Who the hell isn't going to see that as a folded gun, or at least some kind of weird device? I mean, it's odd and it's not common, so I don't see it being all that discreet necessarily or all that hidden. And they can't make it. Wait, can they? I don't know what the law is about. Once a gun is not operable and it's not a gun, when you fold it, they must say that it doesn't have to look like a gun. In fact, that's the case. My pen must be like that, because otherwise my pen couldn't exist. So in other words, they're saying when you fold this thing, it doesn't look like a gun, but I think when you fold this thing, it looks interesting and weird, so people are going to pay attention to it just because they're trying to figure out what the hell you're holding. Where when it was just a square plastic thing, they'd blow it off, wouldn't even look at it. So I think they got, well, I don't know. Do you think they got more work to do, or do you think they should quit trying to rip off Magpul?
Oh, I think the way they did with the second prototype, the M1 or whatever, I think that's a more viable solution than the first one. But You never want to stifle innovation, right? I mean, unless you do want to stifle innovation, I guess.
It's weird because now YouTube put the number of people watching way over on the left, and I don't like having to turn my head way over there. But it turns out that 33 people are watching. We appreciate that. 21 people liked it, and then somebody votes it down. You know what? Nobody cares about the thumbs down. You think you're doing something, but honestly, nobody even cares. But we do appreciate the thumbs ups because that's a human being telling us that they appreciate what we're doing to the extent that they're willing to move their freaking mouse over and click that button. Now, we tricked all of you into doing that earlier, but I do want to say thanks for that because it does give us a number there. Now, of course, you could be a jerk and you could unclick it, go over there and unclick it, and we get one down, right? But thanks for the people that did leave their click there. It might seem silly to you, but it doesn't to us. We're trying to do this show, and we got everybody back together. So from everybody, I think I'm speaking for everybody. We appreciate everybody who's been watching the show and supporting everything we're doing in our various individual products.
G-Webs, are you saying that we're getting the band back together because we're on a mission from God?
I like the Blues Brothers, but my problem is what happens to the cop car at the end. I don't want that to happen.
Oh, come on. It's no big loss. They made lots of them.
Smeg, I like your impression.
So what happens to the band's camper can happen to your camper?
Yeah, whatever.
You know what was the name of the place?
Get another one.
Bob's Country Bunker.
Now, how many people can say that movie car drove by their house many times? I can.
Yeah, that movie
That
was
was Mount Prospect police car.
that movie was filmed over on 53 by that racetrack. They jumped that bridge off of there, so that was, from what I understand, Dano could have been standing there watching them film that.
Yeah, but he didn't go outside that day because he heard that there was going to be bullpups in the movie.
All right, speaking of bullpup shoots, that is coming up, so pay attention to calendars. There's all kinds of gun things happening. The weather's getting better. And what else do we got? Today is Thursday, so that means it's going to be Clover Tap after everybody. It's going to be no Yankee, but Yankee means that probably means Yankee will do his own show. I think Matt does a Patreon show, but I don't know. And who am I missing? Tac Daddy does a show, whatever he's branding, Gun News Weekly. I encourage everybody to check those out. Those people are all supporting gun channels one way or another. They pretty much have all been here since the beginning, and they're still doing shows. These are people that, trust me, are not getting rich. Well, Matt's probably getting pretty rich. He acts like he's not. But no, they're not getting rich. They're just doing it because they enjoy it, and they enjoy this interactivity. We enjoy it too. So again, thanks for everybody for watching, and again, thanks for those participatory thumbs up. If nothing else, it gives good honor to Dano on his last day. I don't know. What are we supposed to do? Should we give Dano some time and he has to give like a big long speech, or?
Oh! Can we make Dano give a big long speech? Really? Can we?
No, you can't.
Or did anybody? I don't know. Do we have anything else? I don't know what to do. We talked about the other shows. We'll be back tomorrow with Friday show.
I think that's about it.
Okay, we wrap it up and do the quote.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy, thanks for jumping in. We're going to need help with the show. Jimmy's offered to do that. So we'll be talking more about that in the future. If you're looking to be the new Dano, then let us know in an email. You might want to wait till tomorrow just so he doesn't delete the email, because we don't know how many people have wanted to be the new Dano. He's in there deleting them. So tomorrow he won't have access to that, and then you can actually get through to us. But again, our email is dailygunshow@gmail.com. Anybody wants to participate in the show, please feel free. Send us suggestions, movies. Thanks, Z, for jumping in. Appreciate it. Giving Dano a good send-off. And everybody is, I think, happy to see everybody back together again. I'm going to try to talk these guys into, maybe there'll be some kind of new thing going on. Maybe we can talk Z to coming in to movie stints. Maybe we can talk Dano to come in for the State of the State or something. We'll find out what these guys' schedules are like and what their interests are. And you people can be involved in this too, because as much as we're involved in these shows, guess who the other part of the equation was? Y'all. So y'all spent some time listening to that. Feel free to return some of that. Let these guys know. I don't know if they want to give you their emails, but anything you send to dailygunshow@gmail.com, we can send it over or forward it over to them. Actually, those guys all have access to the accounts. I doubt they go in and dig through, but you guys are always welcome to the show. Feel free to jump in anytime. You got access to the spreadsheet, so the links are there. Anytime you're bored or you're sick of what Bob's saying, feel free to jump in and put him in his place. He needs that once in a while.
No one's ever sick of what I'm saying.
But otherwise, I'll shut up. Let everybody finish the show how you want.
And I just like to say thank all the viewers for supporting the various hosts that you heard for over a year and a half, probably a year and 3/4. And thanks for listening.
All right. So before anybody else interrupts, first thing I want to say is thank you, Dano, for all your hard work on the show. And you're not really a porn star. And I just want to put that out there because I know I do tell everybody that, yeah, I used to be a porn star, but, that was just my little joke. So, no, Dano wasn't a porn star in the 70s, regardless of what his mustache looked like back then. So, yeah, thank you, Dano. You've been a real benefit to the show, and appreciate your time and energy you spent on it. So our quote, because I know Dano's...
Hey, you got what? Z here, you got Smeggy here, and you got Jimmy here. You going to let anybody else talk?
Yeah, see?
Other people talk. After an hour and 57 minutes?
Well, I'll just jump in real quick and keep it short. Dano, you will be missed. Z, you have been missed. It's good to have you back. Good to talk to you a little bit. That's it for me. Thanks for having me.
Dano, no matter what anybody will tell you, you may be imitated, but you'll never be duplicated, bro.
I'm just going to say, Dad, I'll see you at Thanksgiving.
Nice. Pass the cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Thank you, son.
Yep. Oh, that's perfect. So I did pick a quote kind of in honor of Dano because he's so hard and trained up now. So this one's by Jeff Cooper, as we know, one of the premier gun firearms trainers in the world. But like I say, I mean, if Dano hadn't just gotten so trained so hard, he wouldn't have gotten so just, we weren't getting fast enough, going enough places with the show. So, he wanted to go into the heavy duty training, all about how we got to, hurt yourselves over time, as to build up those. Anyway, I won't go into all those details of what happened, but it was also a little bit to do with the, two sweaty guys in the van stuff, but I'm not going to bring that up. So this one's by Jeff Cooper. Before that, I do want to remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe. And Dano, I just had to. But anyway, Jeff Cooper, owning a handgun doesn't make you armed any more than owning a guitar makes you a musician. Now, believe me, I own a guitar, and yeah, that's true. See y'all tomorrow, guys.
Guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.